YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back, and I'm really excited about this series that we're starting here tonight. The top 100 NFL players of 2020 voted by the fans. So we see every year we see the actual top 100 list that is voted by players. The same thing here, same concept, but voted by the fans. So a select group of fans here, the huge NFL fans, but also huge Goat House fans, created this list. We combined all their lists and now we got a top 100. So very excited about this one. A lot of work went into this. And if you're watching this as it goes up, there's actually a live chat here on YouTube, and you guys kind of interact with each other and react to this list. So every night, this is the first one, players 100 down to 81. Every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, this will go live on our channel, and you guys could live chat during these videos here. So pretty cool. Here's some important notes about how this list was created. So the fans were our Patreon members. There's a Patreon link in the description of the comments. More things like this will pop up, and plenty of other bonus content for Patreon members. And we did a giveaway on Twitter. So everybody, each of these people here created a top 50 list. So they made their top 50 players in the NFL, and that is based on right now. So not the past, not predicting the future, top 50 players right now. So then we combined all those fans' rankings and averaged it out until we have a top 100. 90 total players received votes. So we didn't get 100 players that received votes, but I got that group of fans back together, and they agreed on numbers 91 through 100. So the final 10 players they agreed on. So we're going to go through this 100 to 81 in this video, and then every single night one of these videos will come out until we get to number 1. I got to give a shout out to the participants here. We got 11, and you can see on the screen some of them want to shout out to their name, some of them to their Twitter. So you can find them if you want to discuss with them, what went into their rankings if you want. I don't want these people bothered too much, though, but had to give a shout-out to these people because they worked hard on this list. It's not easy to do here, and now the world gets to see it and kind of argue with them. So shout-out to those guys. Really appreciate you. And then we have a 60K subscriber goal by week 1 of the NFL, so I would appreciate it very much if you could subscribe. We got all kinds of rankings, predictions on the channel now, and full predictions every single week during the NFL year, so I cannot wait. You're going to want to turn notifications on, subscribe, follow that Twitter for constant NFL talk, and then we have a podcast as well. Link in the description and the comments for anything that you may need there. But number 100 on the fan-voted top 100 list is going to be Joe Mixon. So like I said, the people that voted actually ended up with 90 players. They each made 50-player lists, and that actually turned into 90 players, different players receiving at least one vote. So the 91 through 100, they had to kind of get together and agree on those players. So Joe Mixon of the Bengals makes it as just Mixon in the list at number 100. And the thing I could say about Joe Mixon is I think he's better than the credit he's gotten. Really, I think he's better than most people think. I think he has more talent. He hasn't had the best offensive line, and I think there is plenty more talent than people realize there is what I'm trying to say. But catching the ball in the backfield, running inside the tackles, outside the tackles, and I think as they start to get this team together, as they start to get the offensive line together, he's really going to break out. And we always hear about those running backs from that draft class, McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Kamara, the guys top of my head here. But we'll start hearing Joe Mixon's name a bit more as the Bengals get their team together there. So Mixon comes in at number 100 here. Number 99 on the list was Jalen Smith, the linebacker of the Cowboys. In my opinion, he had to do a little bit of carrying last year, mainly Van Der Esch hurt. But, yeah, Jalen Smith, to me, is the best linebacker in that Cowboys unit. But hopefully more of Van Der Esch that we saw the rookie year for this upcoming season. But, yeah, definitely one of the better linebacker units. But Jalen Smith leading the way, very talented dude. I've been mentioning a lot lately that I wish they would kind of get involved in pass rushing games. So I use him in blitz packs a little more because I think he has that talent. But they rely on him so much, middle of the field, even downfield in coverage. But, yeah, Jalen Smith, the voters agreed to put him here in the list at number 99. Number 98 on the top 100 list voted by the fans Calais Campbell. And Calais Campbell was with the Jacksonville Jaguars recently, obviously now with the Baltimore Ravens. What I like about Campbell, we've seen him move around from a 3-4 defensive end to a 4-3 defensive end to a 4-3-3 technique, which is basically a defensive tackle. And now I believe he's going to play 3-4 end with the Ravens. So we've seen him bounce around a bit. Even with the Jaguars alone, we've seen him play as an edge rusher, and then they bring in Josh Allen last year, and they already have Yannick Ngakoue, and they want those guys to rush the edge. So they're going to use Calais Campbell inside a little bit, and he's still making a giant impact. And now he's going to go with the Ravens. And what I love about that pickup for the Ravens is, they've always had really good defenses, really good secondary. Don Martindale's a heck of a coach, and they've always generated their pressure mainly from the inside linebackers in their 3-4 because of blitzes, and they definitely need more pass rush from the D-line and the edge rush position. So they kind of mainly had run-stopping defensive linemen. So they went out and got Calais Campbell, and that is a key pickup because that's something they've been missing a little bit, pass rush from the D-line. They went out and got it. So he comes in at number 98 on the list here. Number 97 is going to be Byron Jones, was just with the Dallas Cowboys, now going to be with the Miami Dolphins, made the highest paid corner in football. And people, I think, overreact from that. They think, wow, he's not the best corner in football, but he happened to be a free agent at the right time. Jalen Ramsey's going to be the highest paid after this upcoming offseason here, free agency. Unless he's extended before then, he'll be the highest paid corner. But Byron Jones, I think, is worth that money because he was actually a safety originally for the Cowboys, was solid there. They moved him to corner because they needed cornerback help, and they see his potential there, and that was more of an important role in their defense. In just 2 years playing it, right off the bat, I should say, he was just lights out. So he actually, even though he's already feels like a polished corner, he still could have some learning to do and improving to do, and that's a great thing because he can be a top-tier corner for the Miami Dolphins for a long time there if that's the case. So he comes in at number 97. Number 96 is going to be Josh Jacobs, just makes the cut, the Raiders running back. The Raiders, pretty balanced team. Nobody that really, they didn't really have anybody that can take over, stand out, but now that guy is Josh Jacobs to do so. We've seen the difference with him in there, and then the Raiders without him at the end of the season last year. Obviously a key part to opening up the passing game for Derek Carr there. It's going to make his job a lot easier. So already a big-time player, big-time back right off the bat in a rookie season when he didn't even play the full season. So a lot of potential for Josh Jacobs there. He's number 96 on the fan-voted list here. Number 95 is going to be Akeem Hicks, looking to be healthy this year. We've seen him 2 years ago absolutely dominant, and last year beat up a little bit, and then he finds his way at number 95. So tough to expect, what to expect, I should say. I think he'll be, if he's healthy, he'll be a big-time player, and they need him. Eddie Goldman opted out, so a big role for Akeem Hicks, but, a little bit, on the backside there behind him, and on the outside, you got a pretty good linebacker core there in their 3-4 defense, so he definitely has some help. But very key to them for their, not only the run stopping, the run game, but interior pressure, which is game-changing as well. So Hicks, number 95 on the list. Number 94 is going to be Cortland Sutton of the Broncos. Broncos added some key young receivers to the group, so will that take away from Sutton's production? I don't really think so. I think he's just continuing to get better. We've seen the step up last year, so what is he going to do this year? I think he's a do-it-all receiver. People see big body guy, contested catch guy, but you see them give him screen passes, use him everywhere because he has tremendous vision, and he's a tough dude to bring down. I think he led the league in broken tackles after the catch last year out of receivers, so that was very impressive. Now he's kind of got his quarterback set into place. He's got some help. The whole defense isn't focused on him, so a guy with a ton of upside that can continue to get better. He makes the cut here at number 94. Number 93 is going to be Rodney Hudson. The group that voted here agreed that he could be the second best center in football and was well deserving of making the top 100 list. And you see that Raiders offensive line, kind of getting complete finally. One of those not really exactly worst to first, but in that area they went from worst to first, and he's been a key piece in that, but they just needed some more pieces around to kind of complete that group, and you see the studs that are already there really start to stand out, and that's a guy like Rodney Hudson, who's a very consistent, solid center, one of the best in football, so he's 93. Number 92 is going to be a free agent. As of right now, a free agent, could sign at any time here. Jadeveon Clowney, formerly on the Seahawks, was on the Texans, then on the Seahawks, and now he's a free agent, and that is absolutely wild because this guy's a top tier player in my opinion. A football player, especially when it comes to a top 100 where you're kind of taking away the positions and you're just ranking. Clowney is a big time football player. I think he can move around, play different spots. He's an edge rusher, but he's also dominant in the run game. He pretty much was the second he stepped in, and then he gets pressure after the quarterback was doubled more than anybody last year. So this is a football player here, and a guy that I think can actually get better if he finds the right home here and kind of gets settled in somewhere. So he comes in at number 92, best player right now. Number 91 is going to be Kenny Golladay. So like I said, the people that voted, there ended up being at least one vote for 90 players. So Golladay actually didn't receive a vote. The group of people that voted came together and decided on the 10 that should be 91 through 100, and he was the first one chosen. I was actually surprised he didn't receive a single vote for the people that made their top 50 lists there. Very shocking there, but I guess he's a borderline there if you're ranking top 50. But a guy that's definitely on the rise, going to continue to get better. I think pretty similar to Cortland Sutton when I say, you look at him and you think he's this contested catcher guy, high pointing the ball, but he's way more than that. Another guy that you can give the ball anywhere on the field, phenomenal after the catch. It's a guy that he's still great even when Stafford's out. He's still great because he's that talented of a receiver. He's definitely going to continue to get better and better, so hopefully be better ranked than number 91. So now on to the top 90, and these guys got votes. Remember, key thing to know, each of these people that voted, each of these fans, they created a top 50 list. So with these players, we'll see their highest rank from an individual person and their lowest rank. So Mark Andrews came in at number 90. Somebody ranked him right at 50. So these people made it top 50, and he ranked right at 50. And that was his highest rank out of all the lists I evaluated there. And lowest rank, obviously, a bunch of people didn't rank him in their top 50, so that would be his lowest rank. But he comes in at number 90, key piece to the Ravens offense here, obviously. And they like their tight ends, and he kind of leads the way. And they really expected a guy like Hayden Hurst, who now is with the Falcons, to kind of take control of that. But Mark Andrews, surprisingly, is the best tight end in that group and is the best fit for a guy like Lamar Jackson and his success. And I think his blocking is pretty underrated too. Seen him in Oklahoma, just making plays downfield. And I don't think anybody expected him to be as good of a blocker as he is as well. So he comes in at number 90, received a vote here. Number 89 is going to be Grady Jarrett. The highest he was ranked was right at 50 as well. And there were multiple people that did not rank Grady Jarrett, but he comes in at number 89 on the list here of the top 100 players voted by the fans. Grady Jarrett was absolutely dominant and really carried that Falcons team. If you look back, we all know the Falcons defense is pretty rough, but how much did Grady Jarrett carry that defense, in the run game and the pass game? It was pretty much on him and we've actually seen him pull and get outside to make run stops on outside runs, almost sideline to sideline. Absolutely ridiculous, or I should say center of the field to sideline. And then it was up to him to get the pressure because it was non-existent. So if he had some better talent around him, he could even be better than that. So honestly, I think deep down, the talent-wise, Grady Jarrett, probably better than 89th overall player. That's where he was voted here today in the NFL by the fans. 88, Geno Atkins. The highest he was ranked was number 49 overall on somebody's list, and he definitely received some not ranks, in terms of the people's top 50s. But number 88 in the list, obviously a little bit of an off year last year, but still a good year. Before that, he was kind of playing at an elite level. Maybe it's been a couple years since we've seen an elite level, but we've seen a lot of greatness from Geno Atkins. Now he finally got some help. They're going to put DJ Reader next to him on the Bengals defense line, and that can take some pressure off him And he can go back to getting his interior pressure, which obviously is a game-changing thing, and what can make him maybe even a better rank than number 88 next year, perhaps. Number 87 on the list is going to be Justin Simmons. He received a vote at 49. That was his highest rank, and then his lowest rank obviously was a not ranked in the top 50, so outside the top 50. Justin Simmons had a breakout year last year for the Broncos. Their free safety, playing a lot of single high free safety, which is basically a center fielder. He has the range, the length, the athleticism, the ball skills to do it, and he kind of just showed us that now. He's been solid before that, but really just showed us now what he's made of, and he can take on that role there, that important role for the Broncos. So he comes in at number 87 on the top 100 list here. 86, give me Logan Ryan, who's actually a free agent as I'm speaking right now. In my opinion, was definitely one of the better slot corners in football last year. He recently came out and said he's a safety, and I could see that. There's a lot of guys that play in the slot, play in the box that were originally either corners or safeties. They really don't have a title. They really can do it all. So he's going to play in the slot. He had a very important role for the Titans, all over the place. Seen him spying, helping contain Lamar Jackson, helping very much in the run game, manning up, slot players, even covering downfield. So a lot of responsibility. A little surprised the Titans didn't get him back, but they did. They do have a pretty good corner group. They drafted Christian Fulton, who actually could play in the slot, or they can move Adoree Jackson there. So they have players, but a little surprised. He does want a bit more money than I guess what people are wanting to give. But the highest rank for Logan Ryan, somebody ranked him at 48, and then he had some non-ranks, and that means outside the top 50. So he's number 86 on the list here. Number 85 is David DeCastro, ranked at 48, highest rank, and then the lowest rank was not ranked, obviously, and then he comes in at number 85 here. DeCastro, obviously a key piece to the Steelers' offensive line. Definitely some years ago he was probably well ranked, above 85, so maybe that around that 48 range was probably accurate. But now people are starting to see, some of these young guards step up, and then maybe starting to forget about him a little bit, but he's still that key piece there for that Steelers offensive line, and which helps their running game going, which is very good when healthy. So DeCastro finds himself at number 85 on the list. 84 is Keenan Allen, received a vote at 46, was his highest rank, and then had some not ranks, obviously. 84 on this list, Keenan Allen of the Chargers. I think a do-it-all type of receiver as well. Plays in the slot, plays outside, fantastic footwork, fantastic route runner. Consistency, I always say that. I just think consistency when I think of Keenan Allen, because you know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get some really good play every single week. He's not going to let you down. And I remember right when he came in the league, right off the bat, he looked really good, but then he just kept getting injured every year, just kept getting injured. And everyone, I think, in their head, it was programmed in their head that guy's really good. It's just unfortunate. He's one of those injury-prone guys, and all of a sudden, his body or something figured it out, and he's been staying healthy, knock on wood. And you just love to see that. You just love to see that. So, yeah, he got a rank at 46, so you love to see that as well. He finds himself at 84 on the fan-voted top 100. 83 is going to be Allen Robinson. So another receiver here, the Bears receiver, had a rank of 44 at his highest, and then did receive some non-ranks, which is outside the top 50. But Robinson really taking over the Bears receiving corp there, and really carrying the load too, because they've had some rough quarterback play, and Robinson's really able to. Yeah, I feel like Robinson's always had kind of mediocre quarterback play, and he's still able to kind of stand out. Obviously dominant against man coverage because of his strength and his contested catch ability. Very good along the sideline as well, and is kind of their key piece to their offense, the Bears, that is. So he's at 83. And we actually have back-to-back Chicago Bears. Eddie Jackson comes in at 82, was ranked at 43 at the highest. You look at 2 years ago, he almost played, he probably played like the best safety in football. Last year, a little more responsibility with Adrian Amos gone. Still plays very well, especially given to what he had to do out there. But if he's able to play his game, which is kind of sit back in the back end, play the free safety, and just read the field, read the quarterback's eyes, that's where he makes his money. That's where he makes his plays, and we've seen him do it multiple times. He's so good at just recognizing the play as it's happening, mainly due to being able to read the quarterback, which I think is one of those things you're almost kind of born with. I think those things, it's either you can do it or you can't. It definitely helps to watch a ton of film. in trying to prepare to what's coming at you. But some guys, can watch all the film in the world, and it's something they just still can't do. And Eddie Jackson's got that. So he's at 82 on the fan voted list. And the last one of this episode, number 81, is going to be DeMarcus Lawrence, who also had a highest rank of 43, the Cowboys pass rusher, and then had some not ranked as well, obviously. And he's going to have to potentially carry the load here. They do bring in Aldon Smith, who can step up. Some young guys like Joe Jackson, Dorrance Armstrong could step up, but DeMarcus Lawrence is what the teams are kind of game planning for in terms of who we got to focus on the most. So who's going to be coming after the quarterback the most here, and I think that kind of helped Robert Quinn last year get going and having kind of a career year. But now they lose him. They have DeMarcus Lawrence. I actually like DeMarcus Lawrence. I think where he's underrated is his containing, because he's not always, and a lot of edge rushers are like that, but he's not always rushing the passer. He's always, he's stepping back and trying to read the play, putting his hands up, deflecting the pass, but kind of reading the runs, and that's why he's not rushing. So I think he's kind of underrated in that aspect. I would like for him to get a little more pressure than he's been getting the last couple of years, but I think now's the time, and he has the ability to do it. It's a guy I was very high on in the pre-draft process, so I think any time now we can kind of get one of those years that we already saw that got him that big-time money. We can see one, and he's been playing good, but we kind of can see that breakout again any time now here for DeMarcus Lawrence. So a guy that received a rank of 43 by somebody there, but finds himself at 81 on this list. So that's 100 down to 81. We'll continue on with the next 20 on the 12th of August. So that's tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we'll do one of these each day, every night, I should say. And then if you watch this as it goes up, we have a YouTube premiere. It's what it's called. You see this video that is pre-recorded, but you have a live chat where you could interact with the other members of the GOAT House, other NFL fans. So really exciting stuff. Really enjoyed making this. And we're not even done making it, so really going to enjoy to continue on here with this. Really exciting stuff. Again, shout out to the people that joined forces. Really, they made their own list, but at the end of the day, it was combined here, and it helped create this list. It's a lot of work between us here at the GOAT House to make this happen. It's something that's unique, I think. That's why I really enjoyed making this and will continue to. But hopefully you can join us for the next episode, and hopefully you can subscribe, click that like button, turn notifications on, because we're going to have full NFL coverage unlike anyone else throughout the NFL season. I cannot wait. But that's going to do it. Thanks for watching this episode. Goodbye.